Emaorazan dembe danye dove kunje nyewan amro gonzazo node ngache Nelo zoba Teba zenjon Tile nabada Yonze nave Wabo Okay, Tashi Delek to everybody. So here today, I like to share about His Eminence Yongze Rinpoche. So many of you know that you don't need an introduction of His Eminence Yongze Rinpoche, but many are new, maybe don't know very much about him. So as a student and as a Pompo, and then many that people are connected with me as well through teaching and by friends. So I thought it is important that you know clear reality and genuinely who is and why His Eminence Yongze Rinpoche is important to us and for the purpose. You know, teaching of Trungpa Sherpas, it is meant to benefit all sentient beings, and particularly like we Pompos in Tibet, for example, in a different country, in the West Europe, Asia countries, everyone have a great respect and a devotion to the burn. Mainly it is to help yourself and help for others. But to maintain the teaching very authentically, genuinely and purely the essence of teaching of Trungpa Sherpa, it is not always everybody can do it. So in particularly this very, the hard time and the crisis time of our situation, and especially of the burn, there was a long history of persecution and very many challenging times, and especially when we come in exile in India, Nepal and elsewhere. So even that make it harder to keep preserved unbroken lineage purely in many levels. So with the great masters in the past, like His Holiness the Throne Holder of Yung Rungling, His Holiness the 32nd, and His Eminence the senior most teacher of the Burn, Mary Yongze Sangye Tenzhug Rinpoche, and His Eminence Yongze Tenzin Namda Rinpoche, and many other the great lamas from different regions of Tibet, and many great elders who have put great effort to keep this tradition lively and safely by their support to these great masters. And among them, one today I like to specifically talk about and share to you all about His Eminence the Yongze Tenzin Namda Rinpoche. So very soon, that in 2020 January, that we are celebrating his 95th birthday, and also in that occasion the very joyful celebration of 25th founding anniversary of the dialectic school in Titen, and a long life ceremony for His Eminence Yongze Rinpoche, which I am going to participate as well, and I'm sure many devotees are coming for that great opportunity. So why His Eminence Yongze Rinpoche is so highly respected and important. In a very clear and our ordinary way, that he is known by His Holiness Dalai Lama, kind of titling the Golden Pillar of Tibet. And he is as sources of wisdom and knowledge, preserver of this very unique tradition of Yungdrung Pe, the native religion or tradition of spiritual tradition of Tibet. From his very young age, joined in monastery in his birthplace, Tenzhug, and then later going to the central Tibet and the Tsang province, entering in Yungdrungling monastery for some time and gradually joining in Menri, which is mother monastery of the Burn in Tibet, we call Tashimeriling in Tsang province. And since then he exiled in 1961. The Professor David Snellgrove invited several of the Tibetan learned great monks and geshes and masters, and His Eminence Yonzur Rinpoche and His Holiness the 33rd Meri Tenzin Rinpoche. They were the one of he who have invited them to. They are in. And during that time also, the many people you may know that he have worked with David Snellgrove on the kind of translating the book, The Essence of Burn, we call 9 Ways of Burn, which is very kind of known by that title in the Western world. So that is his first, the contribution to the Burn in the English language. And then on continuing, beside his all, the reason of being there, but he always had kept in thought, thinking how to bring that exiled Pambos together, how to preserve this very tradition, not losing and disappearing, but for the future generation and a long-term benefit for the sentient beings, the unique, blissful, and the very pure and original teaching of the Tibetan origin, that is Yungdrung Pe, eternal burn. So he have put lot of efforts physically and mentally in every level. Then 64, when he returned to India and met His Holiness the Dalai Lama and expressed his wishes and the situation of the Burn, important and the needs of preserving the Burn tradition, that His Holiness the Dalai Lama has very frankly and genuinely saying, I have no idea what and how I could do in a preserving level, but that is you Pombo's job. You must put your effort and dedicate. I will assist in any way I can. That is, during their conversation, His Eminence have sort of taken a commitment that he will put all effort, which already he was doing. Even that was encouraged or inspired him of that His Holiness commitment to assist or help whatever he can. So keep searching the places where that he could find a suitable place in a reasonable price, and so for searching in many places, and kind of closely he sort of hoped to settle in Dehradun area. Nowadays is UP, the state of UP, UK, which is Uttarakhand, in Dehradun area, but that did not work well. Continually searching in different places in Himachal area, including Manali and Kinori areas in a different, finally found in Solin area, a place called Dolenji, where we are now settled. So then he have founded a foundation that is called a Tibetan Pombo Foundation to legitimize all our hard works to bringing our people and preserving and having those things for the long term legitimize those all legally according to Indian government. So he have found in 1965 the organization or foundation called Tibetan Pompo Foundation according to Indian rules or laws. And that is the kind of now we are using this, and Dolenji is the one that place after searching that he have found that very area 14 kilometers away from Solent city, which is very remote, which is very wild and a remote area then, but now it is worldwide known, the center of the Yungdrung Phö academic and the people that are as a community living Burn, so known as a Burn community, known as a Burn settlement. And the Menri, the Palsiende Meriling, the mother monastery of the Burn in exile that is established there. So 1965 May 28, that is the where he have found this all, and then gradually after the enlightening His Holiness the 32nd, so with the senior most His Eminence Yongzin Sangye Tenzhug Rinpoche and Yungdrung Ling Khenchen, the throne holder of throne holder of Yungdrung Ling, and His Holiness and others. So everyone have unanimously agreed to select, and they put effort and selected as His Holiness 33rd, who just now passed away, that every one of us know about. Since then, in that very area, 1967 May 22, that many Pompo peoples that are settled around Manali road making and elsewhere, from Ladakh as well in different places, mostly in Manali, Himachal area, the Tibetans are living there by doing hard work and laboring at the roadside to make a road construction. So many of the Pombos were gathered in Dolenji and being established, and also some of the monks from different region of Tibet. So everyone kind of being gathered. That was beginning. I think it was very much beginning. About 94 families, around 400 people, I think, sort of like that was gathered. And then the settlement we call a Phönshi Topjal Salpa, means a new Topjal in Dolenji, known as a Pompo settlement. The reason of this new Topjal, the Topjal is actually the village and settler below the Menri origin in Tibet. So this settlement is known as a new Topjal. So both of Menri and settlement of the Pompo believers around the Menri in Tibet is being named after and known as a Pompo settlement in Dolenji and a Pompo monastery in Dolenji. This is the kind of being center place. And gradually in 1978, His Holiness the 33rd have dreamed to have the proper academically, the monks are trained and being educated so that the tradition and culture last and carry on in this future younger generations. So likewise, His Eminence Yongzin Rinpoche and His Holiness have been agreed and discussed, so that since then, the 78 April, the dialectic school or Yungdrung Phönji Shedup Dude is being established. So Yongzin Rinpoche have put whole effort and responsibility to educate like us than a young monks are. So we 11 students of the monks started the dialectic school or Yungdrung Phö study tradition as in Menri unique tradition, as traditionally educated. So that is the beginning of the seed, planting the seed of the future Burn last preserve spreading and culturally and traditionally. So by 11 monks and with assisting teacher of Geshe Larampa or Geshe La, we in other ways we call Geshe La. So Geshe Tsundrina Yungdung Namgyal is his real name, but known as Geshe La. So these two great masters have taken full responsibility to educate us. And the first batch graduation took place in 1986. And that was the great success of connecting elder to younger the generation, the lineage of three main sources, Wang, Lung, Ti of the Burn. So the oral transmission, the teaching transmission, and the initiation transmission. So it's kind of being connected from elder to younger, and they were succeed to, and then continuing from then, the dialectic school. Now we have over 100 geshes spreading all over the world very much, I would say. Many went back to Tibet and serving in their monasteries, educating youngers, and many in a different monastery in Nepal, many in the different countries, in the foreign countries like America, Canada, different places, Europe, Asia, and so forth. So all these are because of the great effort, hard work, by living with the very simplest, but working very hard to put us younger monks a seed of the Burn, wisdom and knowledge in the Burn, transmitted traditionally, authentically, and purely unbroken. That is we call unbroken lineage of the Yungdrung Burn is connected to younger generation and well preserved. Whole his life, living simplest. He, even smallest thing, if we say, he even don't think of buying a good sandal or shoes or cloth for him. Everything is offered by people. That's all what he and eats what we ordinarily monks are eating. Live very simple. For us, His Holiness and His Eminence Yongzhi Rinpoche is the most, kind of second Buddha to us, like a Nyame Sherab Gyaltsen. But they act like a most lowest ordinary of the ordinary monks and living very ordinarily. Not only with the monks, our peoples, coming from all over the peoples. They are always very warm-hearted, compassionate, and welcoming everyone, respecting everyone, and in a sense of like their service to the humankind and doing their level best. It's not like that, oh, today His Holiness or His Eminence cannot get audience because they are this and that. If there's no choice other than that, they will not let our visitors, whether it's our devotee Pombo or whether any visitor, strangers who want to see them, always openly warm-hearted, regardless of who they are, what they believe, etc. And with their all these years of being, experiencing with them through their action, bodily, through their advice, teaching, and how they are intent, how they are thinking of the teaching and preserving, that is the so much of what we are so much highly respected, appreciating and valuing, that the source of treasury of the wisdom and knowledge of Yungdrung Pe and the larger of Tibet. So therefore, he is not being as a teacher in a responsibility level relationship, teaching and graduation, and then the student and the teacher's relationship over. No, up until now, even we are traveling, many of his students are traveling and teaching, but still he is always not as like a student and he is a teacher that is higher or something, but rather treat as a really your own loving child. Guide you everything, whether you ask, whether you don't ask, what he felt. He concerns of everyone. Mostly he focus on uniqueness of the tradition of the Burn be preserved. Always his advice is preserve, spread, with the goal and aim to make beneficial to the listeners and the sentient beings by the wisdom of the teaching of Tambashera. Not to make anybody individual aspect of kind of what you like and what you don't like. He says, don't teach because of they like this and that way. Teach what the Buddha have taught, teach according to the text. And up until now, even he is of 95 years, he never stopped teaching, he never stopped study. If you go, you will see always, if there is no one is there, he is always reading, studying, writing. Volumes of the books are there for the future generation. Mainly what I like to say, whole his life from young youth to this age, he is fully dedicated each and every single moment for the sake of all sentient beings in large, particularly and the future of the Burn, so that Yungdrung Burn can contribute and benefit the people who are open for. That is one part. And then now, because of that, what many of my students and many of our Geshe students, Lama students in a different country, indirectly, you all are connected to His Eminence, His Holiness, because that is how we got our teachings from our great masters, root teachers from this great master. So indirectly, we all benefit under their blessing. So, and especially this is a very good occasion to all us to remember and connect through our true, open, pure heart, because this year in January, in 2020 in January, from 22nd till the 30th, at Tiden Novutse Monastery, they are having a great ceremonies and events. For example, the 25th, the founding day celebration of the dialectic school, right? That's a result of his effort. After Menri, he have established the Tiden Novutse Monastery in Kathmandu, Nepal. So hundreds of monks are study there and graduate, and they are serving in every different part of the country, like in Tibet and in Western worlds and Nepal and anyhow. So in many places, these students, and the celebration of that great, it's a symbol of his great achievement again, and we all are be the one who should proud and lucky and fortunate to be realized that we are connected directly and indirectly with such a holy being in the form of our similarity of human, but in a real none other than the pure manifestation of Temba Namkha. So therefore, it is a great fortune to all of us to participate and appreciate and inspire it, all his great virtue and deeds, that we all are part of it, can accumulate the positive merit for self and others' benefit. And in this very period, on the 27th of January 2020, as his 95th birthday celebration, the worldwide Pombo and the devotees from elsewhere all around the world that are making him the accumulation merit offering of mandala and a long life prayer. So it's a gesture of appreciation and inner respect to His Eminence, and also truly and purely praying for his live long, so that many and many beneficial to the many sentient beings still continuing. So therefore, I request and advise to every one of you, whoever have an opportunity to be physically there and a part of, please do so. The samsaric walk you can manage, but this opportunity will, once you miss all your life. If there is any possibility, I suggest you to be part of take a part of this great opportunity and merit. You benefit. Nothing make difference to His Eminence, but we students and the devotee ourselves get benefit energetically by prayer, by His blessings, by His presence, and your pure motive and intention of devotion. At the same time, those people who are, due to certain reasons, not able to visit, I understand, but I advise you seriously, accumulate the merit by reciting the prayer of long life, Tsedub Nyempa, long life prayer, by reciting Sodrum Akar Mula Tingnam Hundu Muye Tsene Za. Sodrum Akar Mula Tingnam Hundu Muye Tsene Za. Sodrum Akar Mula Tingnam Hundu Muye Tsene Za. So please recite this long life Nyempa at least 100,000 and pray from your heart that His health and live long for all of us devotion and for all the people that are fortunately may have opportunity to receive the blessings from His blessings. And so therefore, and if anyone of doing from now or from today when you listen this till the ceremony January 27, if you can accumulate and complete at least 100,000 Tsedub Nyempa, this long life prayer, if you want, you can send your report to Yeru with a name and accumulation that I would like to report to His Eminence to know that any of you have done, so that he will dedicate and he will remember of all you and his blessings. If you cannot do but still do a prayer and do in your way, so that's my humble request. So it is a long life prayer to His Eminence, is not only benefiting him, we call a Lamit Setup Lomi Shabde, long life and wish long live your root teacher. It is students, their own prayer for their health, their own prayer for their cleansing obstacles and success and happy and a blessing. So it is a very rare opportunity. It is a very fortunate that we have opportunity to be the part of this great human form enlightened master, be our connection to through this prayer. So with my blessing and a prayer, and everyone hope to see you in Kathmandu. Thank you.
What was His Eminence like during your time as a student at Menri Monastery?
As I mentioned earlier, he is not as a teacher officially, like, okay, teacher, student, and that's it. He's more like a father figure. He's more like your best friend. He's more like your great, the guide, mentor, everything. He's not only teaching from text. Besides, he also, advise how we should live in our life, how we should look things, and how we should overcoming from things, and so on. So, like a daily manner, everything. He's not just like a teacher and then that's it, as a professional level, but it's more like father, friend, as I say, mentor.
If you can remember one good memory of His Eminence, what would it be?
I think you will see him always joyful. You will never see that he is sad or upset or angry or anything. Yes, sometimes he feels disappointed because, sometimes we students may be not good enough to make him a dream fulfilling as he expect to us. But otherwise, in everyday life, everyone, every time, every moment, he even with the play and the mix with the lay peoples, not only with the monks, but he's always happy, smilest. It's one of the joyous person I ever have seen in my experience in life.
Do you, as Rinpoche, still look to His Eminence for guidance or support?
Absolutely. Yes, it's not only this life. His Holiness the 33rd and His Eminence, is not only our teacher, as I mentioned, and guide in this very life. We truly resonate them in our heart. Even after our leaving this physical body, they will be our guide in Pardo. They will be guide in our next rebirth. We pray that we will be always under your shadow of blessing in our future life, wherever you may be. That's how we pray and wish. So yes, we do always. When I see him still, I always report everything what's happening, and I always ask him what is the best way, what to do, and he will definitely will guide. Even we don't ask, he will ask questions, and then he will guide us. This is always.
What do you believe His Eminence's wish is for Bone's future?
He's really, I think he, as far as I concern of, he have no any his own personal interest on anything. Always is teaching and the Pombo people of Bone, and the teaching of Tambasharab, saying this very so-called Yungdrung Pön teaching, it is not comparison to any value of precious things what we cyclically or worldly we look at. He said this is a precious lies, precious things, and what you have a great, certainly, undoubtedly, we may have accumulated past some good karma, so you meet this teaching. So says, pressurize that. Use that preciousness moment meaningful. Live life meaningful, be meaningful for other, and teaching always pure. That itself is the great contribution of teaching to people and for long term. So maintaining teaching, that's what he want always to anyone of the Geshe. They are living, either living the monastery or Tibet or the America or Canada, wherever they're living, we always go and see. He's always advises this, always say, don't disrupt. Carry your teaching basis of everything. Maybe you will be a great success of doing so. Maybe you don't. As long as you're holding on the teaching with a great inside value and pressurize, and with this uniform sort of costume of being monk, that itself is good enough for your life to become a meaningful. That's his advice to everyone.
I know that most people understand how you feel about His Eminence. Can you, in Tibetan, would you like to give him a message in Tibetan and finish with his long life prayer?
You mean in Tibetan?
Mm-hmm.
Say in Tibetan? Okay. So, so the English. So, the Tanganzo Pombo Tsangma Shagar Yungdrung Pönji Lade. Chinang Kansal Yobu Pombo number Tsangma Tamje, Kenseta, the Jabje Yongzi Rumbochi Chok, Talukup Chukonga Pedo Yore, and Jobo Tachilo Nishi Lola. And today, do Tedam Cap Tunja, Gulukup Chukonga Pedo Cap the Tunja, Paltide Novuzela, and a shade of the Union Loni Senga Corvig, Lap Change Zagotang. Ani Gunglo Gupchukonga Pepe, Kodo the Yamdo, and around the China Council of Pombo number, Flassam number top. Demogi Kona, one Gosum Kubachimbu, Ani Rumbuchi Chalk, Kutse, Yun never done around stand and drove Sonam Kona, Kona Pevichedo, Ani Mendatejo Bunang, number Sama Tamjelo, Chartugo, Rabre, Ani Sosugi, Mitseto, Ani Talatembu Yoga, Toyola, Chada Chumbu, Chende Karichito, the Pemisiko Kogap, that the date of the Me Susu Sanja Mos Pep Devati, Maranso Tanda. Ludendele Jaju Yowati, Sonam Sambure, Samgio, Tinde number to Samatamjagi, Tulusha, Chikdang, Teta Mawaina, Sada, Nezu Mambuchi, Kiechene, and a Ched, Jar Matuwa Inale. Lunga Yusum Gagewa Katsu, Gedup the Bon Katsu Tuati, and never the Naro cheese, and Shue Chikdang, Tine one at Samatamjagi, Rubuchi, Kutse, the Rubuchi, Sol Depti down, and it's on Charima, Sedup the 다다가도 솔드데 다 장마가 공고를 게될 지쪽이 아니 체둑데 이니 체둑 자리마 소좀 아가몰라 티나온도 뭐도세데 인지 메니게 다 진다 땅부 따리 니스tabdi 거라 뇽탈라 붐직 아니 캘린더 소소소 담자 채널 라미 샤텐당 쿠체 체둑이 삼바체네 아니 장마기 드네치 나로치 승에 레와당 장마 담제라 딩에 꿀마도 슈여스 투지체 아니 네델다 무치 솔드데 마도게 Maorazon dembe danye jove kunje nye wanam rogonzanzo dode ngaje Nelo zoba temba zenjo chile nabada yonze nave wabo Sodom agamula dena ondo moye zenenza. Sodom agamula dena ondo moye zenenza. Sodom agamula dena ondo moye zenenza. O tuji che.